Hi, didn't see you there.
What's that?
You wanna learn more about exhaust files? You came to the right place, my friend. Let's start with the basics. What do exhaust files do exactly? Well, they help reduce the monster's stamina. Like us hunters, monsters also have an invisible stamina bar which, if depleted, will make the monster exhausted. On top of that, exhaust files have a small stun value of 5 points, which can come handy if you manage to land a lot of hits to the monster's head. Let's talk about the pros of the exhaust files. First of all, it's the most noob-friendly way to introduce a new player to the SwitchAxe, since it has some extra utility. For the same reason, it is a nice comfortable way to play the weapon a little more casually. Unlike elemental SwitchAxes, you don't need 5 optimal builds for each corresponding element, just this one will do. It's good if you join random online quests, since you don't always know what monsters you're facing, and you can jump straight into fight without changing equipment. Some monsters are more susceptible to exhaustion or have low elemental hit zones. If a monster's elemental hit zone values are below 20, this build can match elemental weapons in terms of damage. The viable exhaust file axes have good sharpness. Monsters will flinch a ton, which can be annoying at first since they move quite a lot, but getting used to it creates more damage opportunities. The new Risen Chameleon's skill, Build Up Boost, is fantastic with exhaust files, since we apply them on every single hit with the sword. We can also get pretty decent defense if our weapon of choice is the Reconqueress, which makes it even easier for new SwitchAxe players to learn the weapon. Now let's go over the cons. Our two viable weapons barely have any slots. A lot of monsters have severe weaknesses to at least one element, making elemental SwitchAxes much more optimal for speedruns in terms of DPS. Risen Chameleon's armor doesn't provide us with anything special, besides build-up boost and a tier 4 slot. We can fix this with augmentation. Not a ton of value versus afflicted monsters, since they can become exhausted easily by breaking the curia on their bodies. However, this is harder as the afflicted level increases. Exhaust definitely helps with the build-up, and the staggers are always nice to have. Agitator is a fantastic skill that is not as efficient to run with an exhaust SwitchAxe, since the monster will be tired more often. We have two weapons to choose from. The Reconqueress, which is the one I personally recommend, and the Rex Thrasher Plus. The former has 340 attack power, 3 tier 1 slots, a tier 3 rampage decoration, and is 1 point handicraft or augmentation away from purple sharpness. I personally recommend you augment this for max attack and slot in a handicraft jewel. The latter has 350 attack, 0 slots and natural purple, although the minus 15% affinity is something that I don't personally like. Rampage slot level 2 also means that we have to augment it in order to use our Switcher Jewel 3. As for the armor, the parts I'm using are the Flaming Espina's head, Risen Chameleon's torso, Gold Rathian arms, Geismagorm waist, and Death Stance legs. Flaming Espina's head gives us attack boost 2, along with a tier 3 and tier 2 slots. We don't need spare shot, so you can get rid of it with augmentation. If you run protective polish like I am, Razor Sharp is also useless. Risen Chameleon's torso is what made this playstyle much stronger. Build Up Boost is a skill that gives us extra percentage attack with every hit that applies a status effect. 10% is a huge buff. Chameleon's Blessing is a useless skill, so get rid of it through augmentation. Warbug Whisperer is always nice to have at level 1. Gold Rathian arms are great because of the 4-2-1 slot, along with the critical boost level 1 and burst level 1. Peak Performance is a nice extra plus 5 attack if you can keep your HP full. Geismagorm's waist is brilliant, since it comes with a tier 4 slot, 1 point of weakness exploit and 2 points of burst. Death Stance legs have a double and a single slot, along with a Rapid Morph 1, Protective Polish 1 and Attack Boost 1. For Talisman, Rapid Morph 2 or Weakness Exploit 2 plus a couple of level 2 slots is optimal. My Talisman is an Attack Boost 3, Weakness Exploit 2 with a 3-1-1 slot. If you are this lucky, you will also get max attack boost. If not, Attack Boost level 4 for the 5% damage boost will do the trick. All of these armor pieces provide us with a lot of versatility when it comes to decorations, but the ones I'm using are the following: 3 Drain Jewels, 3 Steadfast Jewels, 1 Brace Jewel, 1 Diversion Jewel, 1 Handicraft Jewel, 1 Jumping Jewel, 2 Critical Jewels, 1 Attack Jewel, 1 Hard Grinder Jewel, 1 Quick Switch Jewel Plus, and 1 Sharp Jewel Plus. If you want to run 3 points of build-up boost instead, here's an alternative set without critical boost. The decorations for this set are 3 drain jewels, 3 steadfast jewels, 1 brace jewel, 1 diversion jewel, 1 handicraft jewel, 1 chain jewel, 1 tenderizer jewel, 1 quick switch jewel plus along with the quick switch jewel, and 1 sharp jewel plus along with the sharp jewel. Consider being creative with your own sets, talismans, and playstyle. The only skills that are necessary for this build to work are Rapid Morph 3, Protective Polish 3, Speed Sharpening 3, Stamina Thief 3, and Stun Resistance 3, along with a minimum of Attack Boost 4. Weakness Exploit is a great skill to have, since we are looking into hitting the monster's weak spots anyway, and Critical Boost pairs nicely with it. I personally go for a point of evade extender for the extra distance to close gaps and escape monsters' attacks. The set gives us burst level 3 naturally, but if you don't find that as impactful, you can change the pieces to have burst 1 instead. If you are rocking Reconquerors as your weapon of choice, 1 point of handicraft is also a necessary skill to have. Joining an online quest, make sure to slot in 1 point of flinch free. When it comes to armor augmentation, go for these skills: Rapid Morph, Protective Polish, Handicraft, Critical Boost, Weakness Exploit, and Attack Boost. Skills like Power Prolonger and Evade Extender are also great. Never use Slugger with Exhaust Phials. The values are very low, at 5 stun per hit on the head, making this skill useless. If you use the ground combo, use the Rampage Decoration Phial Switch Boost. This way your axe attacks also get the extra damage from the build-up boost skill. However, since I only use build-up boost 1, going for anti-species Rampage Decoration might be better for this build. Drain jewels are easy to slot and can help to build up the exhaustion state, hence why I consider them a must-have. I'm always running Protective Polish, but it's okay to replace it with Razor Sharp if you play with the TONOR SwitchAxe. All in all, Exhaust Phials are pretty good to use, and we'll probably see a lot more play with the new build-up boost skill. The utility they provide makes SwitchAxe a little less daunting for new players. If you want to learn how to play this weapon and jump on the hype train, you can watch my SwitchAxe guide here. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.